Hey, good afternoon, everyone. We're coming out of recess for our morning session for the purpose of hearing a land use item. Welcome to those in the room, those that may be watching the live stream or the recording at a later date. The hearing's going to follow a pretty set sequence. The staff will present the application. We'll invite the applicant to add any additional details they may have. We may have questions during that period or not. We'll open for public comment. Invite staff and applicant to, again, address anything that may come up at public comment. We may have questions again at that point. And then upon closing public comment, we'll deliberate and make a decision, and it could be to approve with conditions, disapprove, or continue if we don't feel we have enough information to come to a decision today. But that's kind of the sequence we'll follow. So with that, I guess we probably need to get roll call so the minutes reflect who's here. So Amanda, could you call the roll, please?
Commissioner Richardson.
Still here.
Commissioner Thayer.
Here.
Commissioner Pettit.
Here.
Okay, so with that, I'd accept a motion to...
I'll make a motion. We open the public hearing on TD Residence Rezone Case RZ-18-0096.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to open public hearing on this item. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, we're in public hearing. Matthew, the floor is yours.
Good afternoon, commissioners and guests. This is the TD Residence Rezone RZ-180096. Just to give you a frame of reference as to where this application is, it's located just off of County Road 166, a little ways in from the Douglas County line. Again, this is a rezoning request, and more specifically from Agriculture A to Agriculture Residential AR. The landowner and applicant is Ed Taylor, and Greg Haney has interest on that on the property as well. There is an administrative minor plat application, MD 180097, which will be administratively decided pending the approval of this rezone. This application has had an extensive history with CDS, whether that be from internal reasons or not. A pre-application occurred towards the end of 2018, and an application formally was submitted on May 18th of 2020. A community meeting, as you're seeing a whole host of dates up there, a community meeting was waived per se by the previous CDS director. Upon getting to a position where the application was complete, current CDS staff felt it would be a good idea to have that community meeting, although it was only about 2 months ago. During the Planning Commission hearing on June 21st, I wasn't present for that, but there was a recommendation for approval. I believe the vote was 7-0. And in general, the noticing that was completed was in accordance with the regulations. Just to look at an aerial image of the property, in general, this is a 62-acre piece where approximately 10 acres is going to be carved out as a part of this rezoning and minor plat process. It's mostly undeveloped pasture land with an existing residence located within the red boundary as you see up there. More or less, the applicant is looking to separate his residence, which is inside the red box, from the larger agricultural piece to potentially sell in the future. In looking at the zoning map, we have a wide variety, or I guess a front, with County Road 166, where we have some larger acreages towards the south, some development coming in adjacent, whether that be Parkline or Whispering Meadows. However, there are some larger subdivisions in Parker Highlands just to the north. And as you can see towards the bottom, the Independence development is encroaching the in-between parcel between the subject property and Independence, more or less. So in looking at some of the site specifics, this is a bottleneck type proposal, more or less, to have a form of access to County Road 166. Something that staff had wrestled with a little bit is how to address this idea of minimum lot width. In general, the property is non-conforming. The width of the agricultural piece at 62 acres is about 308, 310 feet roughly. And there's no way that we can really look at addressing that issue without making major modifications to the 10-acre lot as proposed. What I had proposed for the Planning Commission hearing was something that we had discussed during the Elbert Hill hearing, potentially putting a line of a minimum setback and addressing the minimum lot width at that point, where we'll look essentially at where that 250 feet of minimum lot width is met and calculate setbacks from there. More or less, that conversation, from what I've been told, did not go down that route. We did have a condition that was written to address that. That's something that we had removed, and we're making a proposal here essentially to put in a 60 by 60 access and utility easement, essentially pulling back the AR proposal a little bit from County Road 166, but also providing that dual form of access, not only for the 10-acre piece, but also for the 52 as well. But removing or pulling back that AR proposed lot would allow for that agricultural piece to not worsen the nonconformity that it has with the minimum lot width. So in general, looking at some of the referral responses, 2 referrals were officially completed with CDS. The first being around the time of the formal application submittal about 2 years ago, and following the community meeting, or around that time, we completed a second referral just to assure that our referral agencies had an opportunity to review and react, maybe see if some standards had changed, just due diligence on our part to make sure that this application has addressed any concerns that it might have. In general, the Colorado Division of Water Resources initially determined that the water supply was not sufficient without an augmentation plan. That added into some of the delays that have occurred since this application was originally brought to CDS towards the end of 2018. So in general, the initial application looked at the future subdivision as a 2-lot subdivision between 52 acres and 10 acres. We made a minor modification to that application, so 1 lot is being created and the agricultural parcel will remain as is. In general, the Elizabeth Fire Department has required fire flow requirements standard with many subdivision applications within the county. Typically, they give a list of options, either sprinkler in the building, or primarily the option that's most oftenly chosen by applicants is the cash in lieu, $1,040 per lot, and the applicant has agreed to that fee. That has been put in as a condition of approval to make sure that that fire flow request has been met for Elizabeth Fire. Now, looking at the review criteria for a rezoning application, we have 6 main points to cover, and we'll walk through those right now. In general, does the proposed rezoning conform, and is it consistent with the comprehensive plan? And in general, we don't have any specific policies or goals that speak to a development or an application of this type. Rather, I turn to the vision statement of the comprehensive plan that we want to be able to allow for and support residential growth. One way or another, this project would be able to do so, and in general, we honor or respect the private property rights of those that come in here with a request like this. In general, whether the proposed rezoning is compatible with surrounding land uses, this rezoning request really to introduce AR zoning in an area that has seen larger density encroachments more or less over the last couple decades. We feel that this is appropriate in this area given the patterns of development that we have noticed. Whether the proposed rezoning would adversely impact public services, and the point that I'll really give here for both of these review criteria is that nothing is changing as a result of this application. The house has been built, the septic system's in there, the well's there. More or less, this is just to split the property, to have those two pieces of property separate, more or less. So that was a common theme within the referrals, that there was not really any objection to that type of development proposal. In looking at traffic congestion, not to bring up the same point again, that with this approval, we're not anticipating any changes. Applicant isn't proposing to develop further, including that 52-acre piece. So the traffic congestion was not really a concern that in reviewing this application. And in general, looking at the health, safety, and welfare of county residents with this proposal, through the reviews that we've conducted, both in 2020 and also this year, we found that there was not a major threat or concern to the health, safety, or welfare with this rezoning request. With that in consideration, the Planning Commission recommends that the Board of County Commissioners approve the requested TD residence rezone RZ180096 based on the following findings: that the proposal is in general conformance with the Elbert County Comprehensive Plan, that the proposal meets the criteria for approval in the zoning regulations, that the proposal is compatible with existing and allowable land uses in the surrounding area, and that the proposal will not result in a significant impact to the health, safety, or welfare of residents and landowners in the surrounding area. This request to approve is based or subject to the following conditions. The applicant will be required to remove the public hearing sign within 7 days of this decision. The rezoning shall not become effective until fees are paid, conditions of approval are met, and the rezone exhibit is recorded, and that this recordation will occur within 180 days. Also, to speak back to the fire flow requirements, that we have proof from the Elizabeth Fire Protection District that their impact fees are paid for their fire flow requirements. And that'll conclude my presentation.
Thank you, Matthew. Any questions for staff at this time? Yeah. Just one, Matthew, for the more recent community meeting, is there any record, were there any objections or concerns brought forward?
I believe we had one attendee, and it was more of a cordial conversation opposed to about the project. So.
All right. No, thank you. Mm-hmm. All right. At this point, I'd invite the applicant if you've got anything to add to the presentation. Okay. All righty. So the applicant's chosen not to present, and that's fine. I do have one question, though. With the conditions of approval that were presented, are you okay with those?
Yes.
Okay. So the applicant says that they would accept those. So any other questions? And if so, I guess I would ask you if there's questions, if you could, for the applicant.
Yeah, the only thing is I want to make sure I understood. This is 62 acres, and you're segregating out from that 62 acres, 10 acres that surrounds an existing house. Yes, and then what do you, I know that the remaining 52 acres is agricultural. Do you have any plans for its future?
Hi, Ed Taylor, and I live at 1016 County Road 166. And no, right now the land is set up for sale in the future, and that's about the only plans we have for it, other than maintaining the agricultural status and keeping cattle on it to pasture.
Understood. Thank you.
Appreciate that. Okay, we don't have any other questions. I'd open it up for public comment at this point. Not seeing any, I'll close public comment. And I would accept a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the TD residence rezone RZ 18-0096.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the TD residence rezone RZ 18-0096. Any final discussion?
No, sir.
Okay. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye, motion carries. I would accept a motion.
I'll make a motion, we close public hearing on TD Residence Rezone Case RZ-18-0096.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to close public hearing on this item. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. We're out of,
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
all right, motion and a second to adjourn for the day. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye, we are adjourned.